Not every medical mistake rises to the level of medical malpractice. So what does it take for a doctor's mistake to be considered malpractice? The South Carolina Supreme Court examined this question in McCourt v. Abernathy. 23-year-old Wendy McCourt injured her chest and punctured a finger while working around horses. McCourt sought treatment from her family physician, Dr. Glenn Abernathy, who treated McCourt for a pulled chest muscle. 4 days later, McCourt went to the emergency room, complaining that her pain was worsening and that she was having trouble breathing. At that point, McCourt's punctured finger was red, swollen to twice its normal size, and had a discharge. Dr. J D Clyde treated McCourt's pulled muscle, cleaned and dressed the finger wound, and sent McCourt home. Clyde didn't prescribe any antibiotics. The next day, McCourt went back to the emergency room in even worse condition. A doctor ran blood tests and admitted McCourt to the hospital under Abernathy's care. Abernathy visited McCourt that evening and prescribed an oral antibiotic for her finger. Abernathy and Clyde checked on McCourt the next morning, which was day 6 of McCourt's problems. McCourt's condition had declined further. Abernathy and Clyde requested a consultation with an internist, but their request didn't express any urgency. When the internist saw McCourt, he diagnosed her with bacterial sepsis caused by horse manure contacting the finger wound. The internist immediately moved McCourt to intensive care, where she was started on intravenous antibiotics. However, 4 days later, 10 days after McCourt first sought medical treatment, the sepsis caused multiple organ failure, and McCourt died. McCourt's husband sued Abernathy and Clyde for medical malpractice. McCourt's husband presented expert testimony that a competent and prudent doctor would have treated McCourt's finger injury sooner and more aggressively, especially because the injury occurred around horses. Earlier and more aggressive treatment would have saved McCourt's life, and Abernathy and Clyde had consciously failed to treat McCourt with due care. The trial court instructed the jury that Abernathy and Clyde were guilty of medical malpractice if their care failed to meet the level of care that an ordinary prudent physician would have provided under the same circumstances. The jury found that both doctors committed malpractice and awarded compensatory damages and punitive damages. Abernathy and Clyde appealed to the South Carolina Supreme Court.